In many traditional churches, worship isn't just about what is said, but about embodied theology. Rituals that use the physical senses to point toward spiritual mysteries. While things like communion, the Eucharist are common, there are several ritual acts that are more specialized or carry deep, often overlooked meanings. 1. The marvelous exchange, mixing water and wine. During the preparation for communion in Catholic and Orthodox traditions, the priest pours a tiny drop of water into the chalice of wine. As he does this, he often whispers a secret prayer. The act, adding water to wine. The secret meaning, the wine represents Christ's divinity, and the water represents our humanity. The act symbolizes the marvelous exchange, the belief that God became human so that humans might share in the life of God. 2. The use of incense, the thurible. If you've seen a priest swinging a metal container on a chain that releases smoke, you've seen a thurible. The act, sensing the altar, the book, or the people. The meaning, it's a sensory representation of prayer. Just as the smoke rises and fills the room, the prayers of the people are thought to rise to God. It also represents the sweet aroma of holiness and creates a physical boundary between the mundane world and the sacred space of the altar. 3. Asperges, the sprinkling of holy water. In some high church traditions, the priest walks through the congregation at the start of a service, flicking water onto the people using a brush or branch called an aspergillum. The meaning, this isn't just about getting wet. It is a ritual washing intended to remind the participants of their baptism. It's a way of saying that before you enter the presence of the divine, you must be purified of the dust of the world. 4. Veneration of relics. In many older churches, especially Catholic and Orthodox, the altar itself is a ritual object. The act, kissing the altar or placing objects on it. The secret, most traditional altars contain a tiny fragment of a bone or clothing from a saint, known as a relic. The ritual act of kissing the altar is actually an act of greeting the saint buried within it, symbolizing that the church triumphant, those in heaven, is celebrating alongside the church, militant, those on earth. 5. The sign of the cross. The most common ritual act, yet it differs by tradition. Western Catholic, Protestant, forehead, chest, left shoulder, then right shoulder. Eastern Orthodox, forehead, chest, right shoulder, then left shoulder. The meaning, it is more than a gesture. It's considered a silent prayer and a shield. By touching the body in these 4 points, the person is ritually sealing their mind, heart, and strength for God.